All right. Hey, everybody. Mike and Abner here with Mike's Minutes. Wanted to dive into the area of distraction. Okay, so here's the thing. Is anybody busy? Is anybody distracted? I like the title. It says, I was listening, what did you say? So here's a quote from Brianna Weiss, and this is, again, the continuation of our 18 things that we need to get rid of. 18 things we need to get rid of in order for us to be the high-achieving individuals that we were created to be. So here's what she says. She said, everything that isn't helping you move forward or build a life you're proud of is simply a distraction. Whether this means streamlining your wardrobe, decluttering your home, phasing down on your project load, or even downsizing your social obligations, eliminating distractions is absolutely essential. And that is really the problem of our age. Not how old we are, but the current place we find ourselves in our culture. I mean, everything is, all of us have so much going on, so many distractions, so many things that are pulling us in all kinds of different directions. It really makes it impossible for us to be able to, hey, Michelle, to really get focused and to get things done. I can't tell you how many, and this is me too, we're busy. We're busy. And it's kind of like, since it's so hot, we're going to talk about winter. You think about the pond in the winter that looks like it's completely frozen over and it's completely safe to walk out on. And we decide we're going to walk out on the ice, and we go out and we get out a few yards onto the ice, and then all of a sudden, the ice starts cracking. And we realize pretty quick that we made a mistake. But, and that's kind of what it's like when you're busy and you're not getting anything done. You're having the appearance of productivity. You're having the appearance of being busy, but you're really getting ready to fall in the icy waters of distraction and delusion. We lose sight of what's critical, what's important for us to get done. And I can't tell you how many times, my wife will say something, she's talking to me, and I'll say, oh yeah, and she'll go, did you hear what I said? I say, oh yeah, I heard what you said. Now what was it? Have you done that? And that's that place of being so busy, having so many things on your to-do list that's, several legal pads long, and you're trying to get it all done. You're going like 100 miles an hour trying to accomplish something, only to find yourself like being on a treadmill, and you're in North Carolina and you're trying to get to California, but you're on a treadmill. Guess what? You're not getting anywhere. Now, if you're running wide open trying to get there, yeah, you look like you're really doing something. You got sweat pouring down, your shirt stained. But if the objective was to get from North Carolina to California, running on a treadmill, I don't care how fast you go, you are not going to get there. And that's what so many of us, that's where so many of us are. We're busy, but we're distracted. I can hear you. I heard what you said, but I don't know what you said. I grew up in I don't know how many of you out there actually grew up, because I'm not that old. There were phones, but I grew up in a home where we did not have a phone in the house. If we wanted to make a call or we wanted to get a call, it would happen at the neighbor's house. They had a phone. And so we would go over to their house to make a phone call. Or if we got a call, they would come walking over and say, hey, you got a phone call. So that's I can't imagine that, because now everybody's got a phone. Everybody's texting, they're talking, or they're scrolling constantly, totally distracted. And this is just the way things are now. And if you don't believe me, just turn on the news. Turn on the news for a few minutes, and you're going to see lips flapping. You're going to see people yelling and screaming and protesting and demanding and all of these things, fighting, all of that stuff going on. Now, why is that? Why is that? We're talking, we're doing all those things. We're texting, we're talking, we're yelling, we're screaming, we're doing all those things I just mentioned, but we're not at all communicating. Because we're so busy, we're so distracted, and we've got our list, and we're trying to get it done. And taking time to listen to what somebody else is saying is going to get in the way. So I'm more concerned about saying what I need to say versus listening to what somebody else may have to say. So again, it all comes back to this unending, it seems like, busyness and trying to get stuff done. And it's like Brianna White said, you have to, if there are things in your life that are not moving you forward, that are not moving you to your goals, to your destiny, to your best and your best level of achievement, then what have you got to start doing? You've got to start getting rid of this stuff, because we're so bogged down that nothing is happening. So what are we going to do about that? How do we go about taking care of these things that are in our way and getting and really getting streamlined, getting back to things that are important? Like, Stephen Covey said, I think he said, first seek to understand before being understood. So seek to understand where the other person's coming from. Take the time and know that there's things in our life that are just a distraction and not as important. And communication and where we are in our culture is lacking because we're so bogged down in all of the stuff that has no significance. So one of the things that I recommend, you've heard me recommend this often, and that is trying to do personal inventories on a fairly regular basis, because this is something that needs to be done on a fairly regular basis, and that is a personal inventory. And looking at the things that are taking place in your life and determining which of those things are the important, the significant, the things that will move me forward, the things that if I want to be a high achieving individual, what are those things that are going to help me be that high achieving individual? Those things that are just an anchor, that are just a distraction, that have no real significance in the scheme of things. We need to trim those things out so that we can be more focused on those things that are important. And one of the things that I don't know, have any of you had that struggle where before someone else finishes what they're saying, you're trying to talk? I struggle with that. I want to say what I want to say. And that's telling me that I'm not listening, that I'm not seeking to understand where that person's coming from before I have my reply. And part of that is this distraction, it's this busyness, it's not focusing on those things that are important. There's nothing more important. If you want to change your culture, start changing wherever that is, your workplace, your church, your community, wherever in this nation, around the world, what do? We have to communicate. We have to listen to the perspective of the other individual. We may not agree with it, but at least hear them out. And then one of the best examples of communication is then to not just blurt out what you want to blurt out, but go deeper with that individual and try to ask them a question. How did you arrive at that? How did you get to that place you just described? Where did you read that somewhere? Is that just a feeling? Or ask questions to go deeper, to get a full understanding of where they're coming from and how they arrived at that place. So that we can communicate, we can understand where everybody's coming from. And if you do that, everything that you do in terms of your personal achievement, your personal best, is going to change, because now you have a different and a more complete perspective of what's happening around you. So that you're in the environment that you're in, you better understand your circle of influence. And you're going to be better able to help those individuals along the journey, because you have taken the time to seek first to understand where they're coming from, and lastly, given your opinion or your perspective before you have all the details. So again, I'm listening, but what did you say is the title. So go back, evaluate things in your life that are holding you down, that are not moving you forward, that are simply a distraction that need to be eliminated or rolled back, such that you can continue your progression forward in your business, in your life, wherever you're at right now, whatever your key focus is, so that you can be at your best level. Be at your best self. And that's what we want to be, right? We want to perform at a level that gives to all of those around us in our circle of influence the best Mike, the best Deb, the best Jack, the best Michelle, the best Luann that I can be in my circle of influence. And so that we're not distracted and we hear what they're saying and we're communicating and we're not distracted. I mean, it just drives me crazy to go to a Panera Bread or somewhere and you see people, they're sitting together, but they're on their phones and they never say a word to each other. It's just crazy where we've gotten, and we think that's communicating. It's just over the top. So folks, take the time to listen, seek first to understand, get rid of the distractions so that we can communicate and we can have an understanding, and all of us can continue to move forward and progress in our journey toward our personal best. All right, folks, this is Mike's Minutes for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you make a comment if you have a question, or if you have a topic that you would like to, have covered or let's talk about, then let me know. Please write it in the comments. This will be, again, all the notes will be on my blog. I also have this video reposted with notes and comments later on my blog and on my YouTube channel. So anyway, hope to see you again soon with another Mike's Minutes. Over and out. Everybody have a great day. Bye-bye.